Good evening and welcome to Be Informed. My name is Carl Buhariwala and I founded Be Informed to help people make good decisions. Today we're looking at architecture employment and we're joined by Vincent Choi of Rptecture. Architects in Australia will be talking to us about the importance of work experience and internships for architecture students. So today's seminar is being presented to you in Australia. So the current employment market and I guess the work experience and internship programs within the Australian market are relevant to you today. And the information is current as of this month. All the information shared to you today is general information only. So if you do have any sort of specific questions about your career pathways, or want to learn more about the specific sort of work experience and internship programs that you might be able to apply for, please engage directly with your careers support team and also the organisation you wish to apply for. And before I proceed, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands on which we meet today and pay my respects to their elders, past and present. In terms of housekeeping, the seminar will take around about 25 minutes, followed by Q&A. If you do have any questions, you can raise them through the chat function and I'll relay them to Vincent for him to answer. There is also a one-page handout that Vincent has prepared, which I'll share by email following the closure of today's session. And that brings us now, I think, to the start of the seminar. Vincent, I'll hand over to you.
Thank you so much, Carl. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Carl, for giving me the opportunities to speak here. This is the topics are very close to my heart. The topic today, as you are aware, importance of work experience and internship for architecture students. So for those who joined these seminars, you are one step ahead compared to the rest of the students. Now, I understand being an architecture students, that was probably 35 years ago. I'm not trying to tell you my age, but I'm going to tell you stories. It's about myself. I came to Australia to study 35 years ago, originally from Hong Kong. My parents sent me here to further my educations. I never thought that I would stay here. I came here and admitted to the architectural schools. The long story short, and when I was in Australia those days, that was recessions. Probably a lot of people in Australia never heard about recessions because we don't have one. We're so fortunate. We don't have one for 30, 35, 40 years. Back in those days, in the 90s, that situation was tough. There's literally not a lot of work. It's a lot worse than obviously compared to nowadays. Still pretty booming. Although there's a bit of issues in construction industries and the interest rate is high. Now, what I've been taught was that I can't remember who was the one told me that I need working experience. So I remember that back then in second years, I tried to look for working experience. I still remember that was the summer holidays and we have 3 months in Australia. And I'm not sure for those that, I'm sure no one remember something called Yellow Pages. Everything is Google now. And I have to flip pages by pages, still paper, and look for company after another company. And I have to call them one by one and ask for working experience. For those who doesn't like rejections, I can tell you, I have like over 30 rejections, one after the others. No. Can you imagine someone tell you no more than 30 times? Anyone can take it. I think it's not a lot of people like that kind of feeling, I'm sure. I'm not sure. I must be really stubborn, architect students. And I went through one after the others, that was like, I think close to 40s. Finally, as just one person say yes to me. Come, Vincent, come for an interview, have a chat, not even interview, come for a chat. I still remember I went to the office, no one's there after hours, you know, and then the Aussie boss was there and said, oh, what do you like, you know, what do you want to do? I said, I have no idea, you know, second years, I have no idea what I'm doing. And he was very kind. I said, I want some working experience. I know it's important. So the interview was probably only 10 minutes. And that's it. I got a job. I don't even remember whether I got paid or not. You know, that's like so long ago. And after second years, the system I had those days, I know is very different from now. What I know is the current system. The reason is my daughter actually studied architecture and she finished her third year this year. So I know what you guys are thinking. I know the system now. Now, I'm not here to criticize whether compare system good or bad. No. That's not the purpose of this seminar. What I'm trying to say is that after I finished third year, that was compulsory. Back then, the systems, that was a compulsory that I had to get 1 year working experience. I still remember my professors actually do have some connections back then, you know, in Hong Kong. Oh, you know, I told my professors, I have no connections. You know, what am I going to do? I've got no connection in professions. And he said, oh, I do know that a student graduate from the school I went to was Melbourne Uni, finished from school, and they still keep in contact and say, oh, probably I can help you. I was very kind. And he spoke to the old boys and get me a position. And later I find out that he trained as an architect, but actually he practiced in Hong Kong as interior architect or interior designer. Actually, I was hesitant, you know, oh, gee, you know, I'm an architect. Why don't you introduce architect's office to me? Why you introduce interior design office? But anyway, I thought, oh, he's really kind, you know. I don't know how to say no back then. And I said, okay, I took it. Yeah, thank him. You know, I went back, you know, and I went to the office and did the trainings. Now, looking back 35 years later, actually, I was really thankful for my professor introduced that company to me, because you know why? That experience, that 1 year experience, opened up my understanding and knowledge in interior design. I have no interest in interior design at all because I thought that architects is architects. You know, my mind was like brick, concrete. You know, I don't even think otherwise. And because of this, now looking back, 30 years, fast forward, 35 years later, my practice, my own practice, I diversify my portfolio from architectural projects to a lot of interior design projects, from retail, residentials, and commercials. And I broaden my business and capacities in the professions. So the reason why I'm telling you this story, because number one, what I had 35 years ago, I had no idea what sort of impact brought me later in my life. And my suggestion to students is that I understand you focus so much in academics. I know that you want to finish a lot the final year projects. I understand how much pressure you have. I understand you are under a like situation, maybe a financial stress. Maybe you're working part-time in a cafe restaurant, which I did before too. They may pay you better wages too. I understand that finance maybe for someone is important. Now, but I think it's important also to think a little bit more. And that is the whole purpose of this seminars. And I'm here to show you and share my experience, how important to have your internship, because it does open up a big, other careers to myself. Now, next slide. So why working experience activities and internship important? Now, looking back, I have hands-on experience. I tell you nowadays, I have students who ask for working experience in my office. You know what? They don't even know how to send an email. What I'm saying, email is not just casual emails, business email. How to communicate in terms of emails, how to work together as a team. Because I find that artists, architects being trained not work as a team as much, right? There's a lot of heroisms, like how good is architects not working as a team. It's very important. I understand that will be team projects in the school. Don't get me wrong. I know that you will expose to that kind of teamwork. However, what I'm saying, the teamwork is in the work environment. Practical knowledge, because in the school is there the projects are imaginaries. There's no budget control. There's no real clients. How to communicate with the real client? What is the budget controls? And you develop the skills that you communicate with consultant like building surveyors, structure engineers, ESC consultant, landscape architects, mechanical engineers. As a project leaders, we have to communicate with whole heaps of people. If you're not working on the real job, you wouldn't have that opportunities. You develop those skill set developments, soft skills. What I'm saying, soft skill is people skills, extremely, extremely important. The industry insights, the industry has changed 35 years ago. That I tell you that no one believed me. Probably there was starting with AutoCAD. I still remember I learned AutoCAD version 9. Now it's AutoCAD. Now people don't use AutoCAD, right? There's only a small amount of architects still use AutoCAD. A lot of people would go to Beam, 3D software, Revit, ArchiCAD. There's so many of those softwares. I don't have those. I don't learn those softwares. They came much later. Now you have AIs, now you have a lot more different computer skill renderings. There's so much more that I don't have. I'm still using my hand drawing, sketches, which I find that nowadays, students wouldn't have the skills. Now, important thing is to have the internship is to increase the chance of employment after graduation. Now, let me explain to you why that is so important. Next slide, please. The disconnection between academic learning and practical workplace skills. Now, it is good, don't get me wrong, that to be educated in the school and have the theoretical understanding is very important. As compared to practical knowledge, we still need those practical knowledge. How to draft a plan, how to use Revit, some of the programs. The school will probably slowly introduce to you, but how to do documentations. There's still a lot of, I call it skill gaps and translations, transition, from the school, to the real workplace. Now, there's a limited focus on essential workplace skills in the school, the 100%. Until you walk into the office, you have no idea how the real world is operating. Next one, please. Now, let's talk about what is the advantage of internship and work experience as a student. Now, I know that will be a lot of mindset change to shift the focus from academic mind into a workplace mindset, to look for jobs, prepare CVs. That some people may not even have a CV. They don't even have the skills of doing interview with the potential, employer. What is a workplace law? I know it's not as important, but you have to find out. There's comments that you don't want to get in the workplace without being paid too. Now, obviously, a lot of people will ask me, "Oh, internship, I don't get to pay a lot of money." True, because why? You don't have the full set of skills. That's the reason why you have to get into the industry as early as you can. Now, some students, they may work for other position in the restaurants, cafe, in retail. They will get probably better returns. Now, my suggestion is when you have during the school days, if you can get even 1 day or 2 days, work in an office, make some contribution is a lot better than just work in a workplace not relevant to your future career. Does it make sense to you? I think it's important to have the balance. I mean, if financially you can afford it, obviously work in a architectural office is good, because maybe the first year you don't get much, maybe even nothing. But once you have the skills, we do have, I tell you an amazing story. We get the students from only not even third year graduated, but because he did 1 year gap year in a drafting office and then moved to our office. And then we did them a lot of training as well. Now, his level of documentation and understanding of construction has increased a lot. And we are very happy to pay them a normal wages, a good wages for his age. What I'm trying to say is, once you acquire the knowledge, you can demand a better pay, because you can contribute to the projects, to the office. People will like you to work for them. And it makes sense that you demand a better pay because you have the right skill set. Now, the other thing is, working in an internship is you can gain mentorship. What I mean is, like, if you make association with senior architects in the workplace, it may not be the employer. Those senior architects, you can talk to them. Ask them any questions. If you have the trust, if you trust the person, even you can ask them any casual questions about, what is the career, what is the industry, what is the direction, what other option you have. That's where you find your answers at the workplace. Develop a portfolio. Now, once you finish school, when you go out to work, people want to see your portfolio, not just the student work. They want to see whether you have practical experience. Build that practical experience portfolio too. It's very important. Building technical competency, that is so, so important. Now, everyone knows that it is hard to get employment when you have no experience and no knowledge. To train someone from ground zero is extremely hard. And that is another reason why graduate without experience, you will find that it's really hard to get the jobs. Now, understanding the practical aspect of architecture, it is important, because once you walk into an interview, you can tell them a real life projects as compared to students that walk in the office for an interview and talk about student projects. This is a massive difference between these two situations. Next one, please. Now, I want to share the biggest tips of today's seminar, the take-home tips and advice on seeking and landing on an internship and workplace experience. Now, one of the ways that you can do is attend networking events in the industry. Like, for example, Breakworks, and that is a lot in the industries, seminars, and also networkings. Building materials supplying company, the big one that borrows, there's a lot of big names, they often have workplaces, they were building material seminars. You will meet architects at those places. Go to network, to connect with the industry people, architects, not just the architect or people work for, have some years of experience, connect with them. That's the best place to connect with those people, and ask them whether they would employ students. Join architecture design related university clubs. Zoners, I know that they have universities, there's connections, and go to those places. Speaking with lecturers, tutors, and back in those days, that's how I get my job, because I spoke to my professors. They would have those connections in the workplace. Apply online and in person. Search who are the architects that you like, the styles that you like, and you want to learn from those companies. Send letters, email to those places. Now, one big tips is when you send out those emails, follow up a phone call after 1 or 2 days. 2 days is probably a bit better, because most of the times those places are very busy. Don't be afraid if people say no to you. Have a smile, walk away, that's fine. And someone did tell me is that our face should be a stick from left-hand side to right-hand side. It's okay if someone say no to you. Don't feel embarrassed. It is normal. Learn rejection. Is this a learning tool? Someone rejected me over 30 times. That's normal. Interview process. Learn. As a student, the interview with you probably not as serious, but you can have those practice. What firms are looking for? I think I mentioned to you before. Some of the companies that you like the design, award-winning design, maybe or certain type of design, company that you like, write to those places. Follow up, as I mentioned to you, follow up is extremely important. Now, I recommend start applying even during the second year of studies. And I know that probably you know nothing in the industry. I tell you, even some admin work, even some little things that you can contribute. Now, because you work only 1 or 2 days in the office, they cannot really give you projects. That's why just walk in, make some positive contribution. It is fine. Even I don't mind, make coffees, for people. I know someone say, oh, I'm a student, I'm not coming here to make coffee. I'm not saying that you have the baristas. What I'm saying is to do something to make positive contributions, that you make connection with people. Now, I'll tell you one big take-home tips is about Australian, for those that Australian audience, the Australian employment law in such a way is that when you graduate, the labor law would say that the company have to pay you full wages. Now, I have students that they're so desperate for work. I'm talking about those graduate architects, because they can't find jobs. They even say that I'm willing to do it for free for you. Unfortunately, the labor laws in Australia make it illegal. They have to get paid. So that is the reason why this seminar is so important for the students to do internships when they are still students, because there's no laws about how much the company has to pay you. But there's a labor law enforce a proper full pay scales. You can Google search what is a full pay scales. There's a awards of the salaries that have to pay you. Otherwise, it's illegal. Now, most of the company don't want to get themselves into troubles. So that is the key. Now, I told some graduate architects who couldn't find jobs, tell them what is the way to increase the chance of getting employed, getting internship, to work when we're students. Now, a lot of people left my office with disappointment because they didn't do it. Now, you are the fortunate one. Spread the words to tell your friends, students that get into the internships, get some experience, so that they can increase the chance of getting employment when they finish the university degree. I think that's probably the biggest tips of today. Carl, next slide. Now, I finished I think I'm pretty spot on, 25 minutes, Carl.
Perfect, Vincent. Very well done. Thank you for presenting. Vincent's details are on screen. So if you do want to contact him, if you have any further questions, I'm sure Vincent will be more than happy to answer those queries for you. So that brings us to the formal sort of end of the seminar, and now we'll move into Q&A. And just as a reminder, this session is being recorded. So if you have joined late, you can always watch the entire session on our YouTube channel. And Vincent has also prepared a one-page handout, which I'll send to those that are registered by email, so that you've got that document handy and can refer to it and share it with your friends if you think that would be useful. So we'll jump straight into the Q&A. And Vincent, the first question that we've got is around what are some of the skills that you see students should develop during their internship or workplace program? That can be the soft and hard skills. I know you've touched on a few of those during your seminar, but if you can just sort of summarize, what are some of the key technical skills, some of the key soft skills you think the student should work on as they go through their internship or workplace program?
Very good question, Carl. Such a good question. I tell you, in your generations, there's something called AI. Now, it's going to transform every industries. Now, don't be afraid of AI. We have to embrace the technology, of course. So what is the impact of AI is that a lot of skill sets, AI will come in to slowly to take over. So what AI cannot take over, now listen carefully, is people skills, soft skills, personal development, your right mindset, your character, how to be a good employee, how to make positive contribution. I keep mentioning this, making positive contribution to a workplace, how to work as a team. This AI will not be able to tell you and cannot take over this. And that is most important. The people skill, the connection with in the industry professionals. That's our next questions.
Yeah. So, and then Vincent, on the technical skills side, sort of what do you see, like, if you are having students going through your programs, what are sort of the top 3 skills that they need to sort of be proficient in relation to architecture, interior design, and the like? What are sort of the top 3 technical skills they should be mastering or have mastered?
Yeah. Now, very good question. Now, I know the question is about technical skills now, but I have to stress, very important to have the right mindset. Now, remember, I shared with you when I went to in Hong Kong, work for an interior design office. I was a shock, I said, no. Now, have open-minded, walk into the office, learn anything. Now, of course, the skill sets that you prepare yourself will be a lot of rendering skills. That is straight away people can use your technical skills. The other thing is, I think, note taking. People may take you to job notes, photo recording. I think there's a lot of skill sets that you can translate from the school work. Something like document essay or documentation, presentation skills. They can bring those skills sets to the office. Am I answering the question, Carl? That how do they bring the technical skill from the school to workplace, or the question is how they can develop the technical skills? Sorry, I missed that question.
Yeah. So it's a bit of that, but it's sort of what technical skills should they have mastered before they apply, right? So
yeah. Now, maybe shouldn't the words master. You will never completely master something, right? Being a student. So don't be afraid that you may not be really good at something. Probably the right mindset is you're here to willing to learn. And of course, with some basic skills, rendering skills, as I mentioned, I think that will make a huge contribution. Now, I'll share with you, at the moment in my office, I have 2 students in my office. And one of them doing a lot of renderings, not high level, doesn't have to, even simple rendering. They make good contribution in our office. I hope that answered the questions.
Yes, no, that's good. And Vincent, just keen to sort of understand, you know, in order to get registered as an architect, what's the sort of process that you have to go through? So post university, what sort of additional steps do you have to take to then secure that qualification and that profession?
Okay. In Australian context,
Yeah.
yeah, you have your 3-year degree course, and then there's a master program. I cannot comment for other degree program in other states, but in Victoria, that will be a 5 years degree course. Of course, the 5 years inclusive of a master degrees too. I saw there's a question here popping on my screen. So I'm not sure, Carl, can you see it
Yeah,
from Vienna?
we can jump to that one. I know there's a few flying around. So there's
Oh,
one.
okay, sure.
There's one that's come through around sort of will other countries. So if you've done an internship in another country, will that help
Yeah.
you in Australia?
Yeah. Now, I can share something with you guys. My daughter, she's working in Hong Kong for an internship. I tell them that go overseas, any place, go to Europe, Japan, Asia, doesn't matter. It's about expose yourself to different markets, because as a student, you guys, if you don't mind, I say that, it's still very green, early stage at your career, I would say. So any relationship, any internship is a good experience. Even I heard students work for a builder company. It's okay to learn to know how a builder builds the projects. It's good experience too.
Yeah. I think, yeah, no experience is bad experience. And I think the experience that you take, whether it be an internship, workplace program, whatever it might be, is what you reflect on and what you take away from that, I think, can then help you in the future. So it's all up to you, really, with what you want to take away from that activity or that program or whatever it might be.
I'll tell you, yeah, so maybe I give you one big tips, one huge tips. Apply some famous, well-known architects company when you're students. Now, you are a lot easier to get in those company as compared to when you finish school, graduated. The reason is why go to those places is they will have the best practice. You want to learn from the best of the best, right? So when is the good time? What's the easiest time to do it? When you're students.
That's right. That's when you've got the most time to sort of take advantage of the other programs that are available. And as to say, you want to learn from the best, right? So that you can then apply those skills in the way you conduct your work moving forward. And Vincent, in relation to some of the workplace programs that you conduct at your organization, maybe at a high level, sort of what do they comprise? Do you have like a set program, or is it pretty much just getting those individuals, shadowing the work that your team does? Like what does the program look like at your place?
Yeah. Okay. So I often, our office always have students, come through. Now, when the students come in, normally we would like to see they stay in the office much longer, because when they first walk in the office, the first 1-2 months, really nothing much. Now, I tell you, we even ask them to do some social media postings, just warm them up, get to know the workplace, get to know the people. So don't worry, even doing some social media posting, that's fine. That's fine. And as you building relationship, people have confidence. Like being an employer, what they look at is not your skill set. Remember, I talk about soft skills. What is soft skills? Are you punctual to work? Are you being honest? Are you attentive to details? Are you a good listener? Are you good with people? Not even talk about your technical skills. So one thing, I would like to see students to develop their soft skills. It is important. Now I tell you, I met some students are super talented. Sometimes I can't. I think sometimes I try to avoid those students. You know why? They don't want to listen. They think that they learn enough. I can't touch them. I'm sure they walk in other offices, they will probably have the same issues too. So I find that to have the right attitude, the school won't tell you and teach you what's the right attitude, how to perform, what is the right attitude at workplace. Would they tell you? No. So I think it's important to learn how to even to be a good worker. What is a good worker? I think it's important.
Yeah, no, that's very true. You know, I'm a lawyer by trade, so in my profession, I find that you're right. It's the soft skills that a lot of the people lack when they start off in the industry. They might be
Uh,
technician, they might know what the rules say, what
exactly.
the law says, and what the court says.
Exactly.
But when it comes to actually, yes, conversing with others, sending emails, building a reputation, and building trust with the business as a legal advisor and all that sort of thing,
Absolutely.
it takes a
Absolutely.
long time, long time.
Long time. I tell you, I should Carl, you touch on something so important that I want to tell the students is that I find that is something that probably, I would like to see the education built in that to teach them people skills because they thought, oh, well, let them go out, to try and error, to deal with at the workplace. Now, not everyone's have the good people skills. Now, I can tell you, I will put my hands up. I don't have a good people skills when I was a lot younger. You wouldn't believe me, Carl.
Mm.
I don't even have confidence speaking in front of camera. There will be another seminar talk about that presentation skills altogether.
Yeah,
But that is so important that students to develop those kind of skills, confidence, engaging people, how to engage people. I'll tell you one thing people would not know. Most of the designer, I say most of the designer, they are introvert. Would you believe me, Carl?
yeah,
They like to quietly work at the corners, doing their own design because they're in the zone in the world. Now, I'm still battling my staffs, some of my staff, that introvert to open them up. Now, I tell you, Carl, I was one of them. That's why I can identify myself with them. And it took me such a long time to build confidence and open up myself. Now, if you know me 20 years ago, it's totally different Vincent. No one believe. They think that I'm extrovert, but actually not. They call it conditional introvert, meaning that I can talk in front of the camera, but when I go home, you know what? I don't like to talk. It's quite common, a lot of designer are introvert, and they worry that oh no, how am I going to work? Because I introvert. Do I get employment? Because obviously they get people are extrovert. Tend to engage at the workplace better. So you need to develop the skill. I mean, students have to develop the kind of skill set, the people skills.
yeah. That's very true. And I think, and ultimately, you need a mixture in your office as well. You need a mixture of
Absolutely.
those that are introverts, a mixture of those that are extroverts. But I guess in any business, you're ultimately, it's that sort of that minder, grinder, finder, right? So the grinder is one that does the work. There's the minder who sort of maintains the client books, and there's the finder who's the one that sort of builds the client books, right? And you need all of those people within a business to help
Absolutely.
that business grow. And when the business is looking for someone to start off in the firm, they're most likely going to try and see where you fit, and it's usually those that are finders and minders, right, that really grow, that go up the chain.
That's right. Yep.
Just the people that are very good at doing the work will usually probably stay at the bottom levels, right, and not
Yeah.
sort of go up the stage, the stages. But if you are able to maintain client relationships, because that's a source of revenue, but then also find new sources of revenue, which is a new client relationships, then of course you're definitely going to get promoted to the higher levels, right? And this has been really informative, Vincent. Do you have any sort of final comments that you want to make, or?
Yeah. My biggest tips, like after all, after this 40 minutes of the seminars, one huge take home tips would be go out Don't think too much. Take massive action. Find an internship for yourself. Get into it. Don't be an overthinker. That is my biggest tips of today's seminars.
Yeah, that is spot on. I think a lot of what's happening now, for those that are listening, is that there's information overload, right? Because information is very accessible, either on your phone or your laptop or whatever. You can just pretty much access whatever you want through a Google search, or even you can even ask those AI chatbots to give you the next answer that you have on your mind. I think that information overload causes us to overthink, and we forget to just sort of take a step back and just realize, it's the simple things that you can achieve in life that actually help you get the furthest.
Yes. And I think, sorry, go on. Yep.
Yeah. So, I think it's just spot on, right? You don't have to over-engineer this,
I know some students. I tell you, I have one at home. My daughter. You guys don't know my daughter. It's fine, but I can see because I'm working with one at home, and I have staff in the office. So I understand the mindset for them. They're still growing. They're still searching. They're still finding. So it is important. I myself enroll as a mentor, in the school, for AI, for professional body. Because I would talk to a lot of architects. Sometimes they are probably a couple of years in the professional. I can see those issues too. So I think it's important. If you want to fast track your career, it's good to talk to a mentor. Find a mentor. If you don't have one, it's okay to talk to some seniors. I'm sure they'll give you some wisdoms in life. Now, last but not least, share this important seminar to those students that need helps. They will be forever grateful to you. That may change their career and their life.
No, that's spot on. No, thank you. That's been a really engaging seminar, Vincent. So thank you so much for presenting. Once again, Vincent's details are on screen. So if you do wish to contact him or have any further questions, I'm sure he'll be more than happy to answer those. And that brings us sort of to the formal end of the session. Thank you for joining. If you have enjoyed the session today, please do follow us and share this with your family and friends. As Vincent is saying, you might have friends at university or at wherever you're studying that might benefit from, learning about this topic and how to sort of navigate the career pathway in the architecture industry. The session is being recorded, so if you have joined late, you don't have to worry. You can watch the entire session online. And after today's session, I'll be sending out the one-page handout to registered participants, so you can have that copy on hand and share it with family and friends in need. Next week is our last session. It'll be on finance topic around the advantages of using a home loan broker for your next home or your investment property. So that'll be our final session for the year. But other than that, thank you, Vincent, for your time today.
Thank you, Carl. You have done a wonderful job, Carl. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and I hope those that are listening today or those that listen in the future can take something away and be informed about their decisions that they make.
Excellent.
All right, guys.
My privilege to be part of the informed family.
That's all right. And thank you so much for sharing your time as well. I really do rely on those that are skilled and professional in the industry to share their wisdom with others. So
yeah,
beautiful.
Wonderful.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
And have a nice evening.
Yeah.
Bye for now.
See you. Bye.